In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how we can actually code some modulos and some nested conditions. If you are watching this the day that I, Miss Schumann, am out on, this should say Friday, November 8th, then this should be the second video that you are watching. So hopefully you're able to figure out what these are equal to. Maybe you pause and get your answers. And this is what I got. If you have questions about these, please ask somebody around you. So I just want to pull this up. So conditionals within conditionals is something we're going to focus on today. When dealing with longer and more complex code, it's common to nest conditionals within other conditionals. You've talked about this. I know you have because I've talked about it with you. You have your Russian nesting dolls. We're going to put a conditional inside of a conditional, just like a doll inside of a doll. It's commonly seen with booleans and counters for sure. Counters are variables created to keep track of the number of times an event has occurred. We did this with scorekeeping the other day. I'm also going to be using this with just a standard counter. It's generally paired with a conditional or a while statement to make an alternate action occur when a threshold has been met. So like if my counter is greater than something, we do this. That's what we did with scorekeeping. Ours today is going to be a little different. We're going to do it with modulos. So my last thing I'm going to say before we get started coding is mods are super useful when you're trying to have a set number of options. For example, you might use mod 2 if there are 2 options. You would use mod 3 to give you 3 options, a remainder of 0, a remainder of 1, and a remainder of 2. And I'm just going to pull up the editor for you to see that here, this actually is 3 options, a light mode, a dark mode, and a high contrast mode. And that would be a situation when we might want to use a mod 3, because 3 mod 3 is 0, then we'd have a remainder of 1, a remainder of 2, and then the pattern just keeps going. So we would always have 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, and so on. The pattern would just go on. So I'd love for you to open up an editor, name it 1.07 Nested Conditionals, Counters, and Mods AP, and please connect Collide. Please pause this video, rewind this video, do whatever you need so you're getting this information. And as I make it, I'm actually going to change this to 1.10. I am so sorry. We already had a 1.07. Okay, so hopefully you were able to make a editor that has the Collide library connected, and I'm also going to make a rectangle that is pretty big. Great. Okay, I'm going to add a comment for what we want. Okay, make a rectangle that serves as a button. If the rectangle is clicked once, turn the canvas into dark mode. What I mean by that is like a black background and a bright rectangle. If the rectangle is clicked again, turn the canvas into light mode, maybe a white background and darker rectangle. And then I want to continue this pattern. Okay, so with all of that being known, we have a rectangle. We're going to be changing the color of the rectangle, color of the background. So this is something you should be familiar with. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to make 2 variables. I'm going to call rectcall, gcall, rectcall. I'm going to start it at, I'm going to start it in light mode. So I'm going to start it at maybe like a dark green, 120, 80, 60. And BG call, I'm going to start at 100. And I'm going to use my variables. BG call and fill right call. That again should be great. So I want to be clicking my rectangle and I want it to measure that I only did it once, which means we're going to need to use function mouse press. So end of draw function. I'm going to come down below my draw function and I'm going to set up my function mouse press. Function mouse press, parentheses, curly bracket. And for just right now, I want to know if I clicked this, something's going to happen. So if, let's set up our collide. So if collide point rect, mouse X, mouse Y, and then I need the information for my rectangle. For right now, I'm going to console.log clicked rect. Great. Everything I've done so far should be with you. Every time I click this, I think I'm going to use a counter to keep track of how many times I've done it, so it can go back and forth between light and dark mode. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a counter variable. I'm going to come up to the top, reminder to pause if I'm going too fast. I'm going to call it counter. And this is going to be variable to hold the number of times the rectangle has been clicked. And my counter is going to start at 0. Every time the program runs, the counter starts at 0. Okay, so what we're going to do is inside of the conditional we made, inside of the function mouse pressed, inside of our conditional, I want to say that my counter will plus equal 1. And for right now, let's console.log our counter. So I've clicked it once, I've clicked it twice, I've clicked it 3 times, clicked it 4 times, and so on. Now, what we really want to happen is I just clicked, I want it to go into dark mode. I just clicked, I want it to go into light mode. So I'm just going to add a comment. You don't need to type this one. Dark mode was at 1. Light mode was at 2. Dark mode is at 3. Light mode would be at 4. Dark mode would be at 5. Light mode would be at 6, and so on. You'll notice that dark mode are odd numbers and light mode are even numbers. So I'm going to have to use modulos. So what we're going to do is we're going to come inside of our conditional, and so this is a nested conditional, or a conditional in a conditional. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up. So I'm going to make my conditional. And I'm going to say if, I think I'm going to try these like even. So if it's even, and it's going to be even if my counter mod 2 has no remainder. So I'm going to console.log counter is even, be light. And light mode would be, I want my BG color to be white, so 100. And I want my rectangle, my rectcol to be 120, I don't remember what I said, maybe 80 and 60. I want all of this to happen if it's even or in light mode. I'm going to set up an else if. You could do an else as well, but I just want you to see the structure in case you have more than 2 options. If my counter mod 2 does not equal 0, instead equals 1, I'm going to console.log and say counter is odd, be dark, and I'm going to set it into dark mode. So BG call is going to be black, and I'm going to say that my rect call is now going to be like a neon. It's going to be so aggressive, but I'm going to do it, a neon green. Okay, let's try it. Dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, and so on. Okay, I have one challenge for you depending on your time, and that is to make a shape on your canvas. Make the shape turn 3 different colors, red if it's clicked once, orange if it's clicked twice, yellow if it's clicked 3 times, and the pattern will continue. I know this video was so fast, super proud of you, can't wait to see what you can do.